Ah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good whatever else. This is another scene in Project Center Oslo. It's time to assemble the amalgam, or amalgam assemble, if you will. Various operatives from various conventions have been drafted today. They've all been gathered up in a classy white van each and driven to an undisclosed location down by the Oslo Pier. And you've all been guided down, climb down a few ladders, and boom, you are inside a pretty open conference room like chamber. There's a projector there, ready with the slides, old spy style. And there's cinema seats, so you can all comfortably sit. There's a name tag on each, and there's a small pull-up table you can put in front of yourselves to take notes. There's pads for those who don't have any kind of electronic pads available. Or there's paper for those who are a bit more old school. Uh, as you're all finding your seats, eventually a woman in her 60s will step onto the podium. She's one of the more notable supervisors in the union. Sophia, she is, or Sophie, if you want to be English for it. She is Elena's supervisor specifically. A very stern New World Order lady. She's going to wait for whatever small talk you would be having to simmer down, and then she's going to take out a stick and she's going to smack it hard against the floor. Wow. And as we're all here, I will call you all to attention. You're all, at least most of you, operatives. She looks specifically at Rasmus and nods. Some of you are not, but we feel that you can still be of some use here. To make this short, there's been a recent, I'm sure some of you heard, on one of the enterprises of the syndicates, and this has caused problems for the Union. And this is enough of a situation that we felt it necessary to assemble an amalgam ready to handle this issue. I will soon get into my presentation and show some footage about the related threats. First, I will just quickly go over what's happened. In a warehouse, she clicks one of the slider, and the slider shows, and there's clearly a video file ready to be played, but the video isn't playing yet. In a warehouse in Oslo, in a small syndicate front, primarily dealt with underworld interests and for financing our various projects and keeping an eye on disorderly elements in the city. Our citizens working there and an operative was attacked and incapacitated by a reality assailant. We will now show the clip. I will now show you the clip, so you can now get the basic idea of what happened. Before I go into more further details, she presses a button, and the clip goes. You see a bunch of like stereotypical like gangbangers all standing around. There's clearly like some kind of drug and weapon sale thing going on. Money is exchanging bags and stuff, and then suddenly the floor under several of them breaks open, and a lot of dust and smoke comes up in front of the camera lens, and then suddenly you see a lot of the lightly armed thugs suddenly lose their guns, and they're assailed by someone who must have been watching a lot of Batman stuff growing up, because he's dressed in a very superhero-esque costume. Suddenly attacks the various people there, beats the snot out of them, throws some kind of smoke grenade down on the ground, takes their bags of money, and leaves through the hole. The guy's dressed in mostly black and gray. He doesn't have like a bat thing, but there's a cape, some kind of body armor with a motorcycle helmet and a leather jacket thing going on. The guy jumps down through through the hole, and the clip ends. She presses the button again, and and the slide goes away. And you see several pictures, like it goes from a normal video to in slow motion, picture-in-picture to one of the events. As based on our studies of this footage, it's clear that this person is not just some nutcase dressing up in a suit. It is an actual reality deviant using techniques similar to someone training, some inspired science training to take down the assailants. There's evidence of specific type of explosives used, a jamming device that made their guns useless, and enlightened combat techniques to more quickly evade, take them down. She sighs and puts it aside. This is a pretty reasonable, or not reasonable, but it's a pretty notable threat, despite being one person, as he managed to bypass all of the security surrounding this front. And while it was a small front, due to its illicit nature, it needed extra protection due to, many reality deviants having interests in organized crime. Secondly, mortal law enforcement. The masses law enforcement could be interested in this location. Since someone by themselves had managed to bypass all the security and take down over 12 people, we think you have to prove yourself by dealing with this problem. And you might ask, how will we do that? You press the button, and then suddenly it becomes an organizational chart. You see basically all of your names with a little picture on it, set up in on a spreadsheet. You all, for your various talents, been drafted into this amalgam together. There is going to be you're going to use this front that's been constructed for this purpose as your base of operations while here. So you will be moved from your current fronts while you're in this amalgam. Elena, she points to Elena, is going to be the leading field operative. And there's some names of some of the people who are not currently in the room. And with each name, there's like a sticker, or not a sticker, but a tiny like logo indicating which convention is from it. So there's two field agents, Elena and one of the young void engineers. You have the development team. There's two iteration symbols, which is Mina Watanabe and Julian here. And finally, we have new recruit Rasmus, who's going to serve as a sort of mission control while there, help organize some of the things. He's not a leader in any way, but he serves more of as a call it a secretary.
At that description, Rasmus just chuckles a little bit, like.
Yeah. And finally, we have Gonzalo Acro, who will serve to finance this enterprise. And since, for now, the Syndicate are the wrong part, they are, of course, need a representative here. She presses the button again, and slides up the thing moves. Any questions?
Hi, everyone. This is Gonzalo. And then he stands up and says, "Nice to meet you all. Finally, get to see some beautiful faces here. Well, I'm the Syndicate POC, therefore..."
What about me did indicate that you were in the mood for small talk here?
Have your name tag. I'm sorry. There you go. See you all later.
No, don't see you later.
Okay.
Oh.
That was in character, for the record. That was not Carl saying something out of character.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. This has all been in character. It's the supervisor woman being like, "Hey."
Yeah, we've been. I don't know if you got the message, but we've been recording for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but I think just out of character now. This is Gonzalo, so then he's just very.
Yeah, I realize it's you.
There you go.
Confusion about.
Ask if any of you had a question.
Elena will actually raise one hand.
Go.
Do you prefer capture, containment, or termination?
I have absolutely no interest in how you do it. As long as the problem is terminated in a permanent fashion, you can have him captured. You can have him you can give him permanent brain damage, whatever. There is probably some kind of support network behind this individual to make it possible for him to work. So it would be preferable that you find out if there's anything behind him. Because if we take down one man and it suddenly turns out that Shirley has another operative of a similar skill level, we will not progress again.
And it is harder to interrogate a corpse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the development team will focus on countermeasures for whatever and developing new technology to deal with this threat. I hope that unfortunately, due to certain procedures this man must have used, we've been unable to analyze much of the footage to find out whatever capabilities might be having, which is an unfortunate thing. Any other questions?
I have actually one, very quickly. Is it possible for us to somehow track those dollar bills that were stolen to get you at least somewhere near where they were taken?
They are marked bills. Unfortunately, we've not been able to track down bills themselves, but if they enter into circulation, a financier should, or at least I hope a financier, would be able to find those bills, yeah. Especially if we give you the scanning signature necessary.
Well, if there is any way for us to get access to those tracking, at least those scattered tracking where it was circulated, I can somehow try to figure out a near location. I could help on that.
Yes, that is one of the things we expected from your work here. We would also hope that so that we don't use so that none of you use the union resources we have given you for your own personal research. We would hope that you could be able to create more assets that could fuel this enterprise. Besides that, it would be very unfortunate if okay, just got distracted by the chat thing. Yeah. So that's really it. There will be some blueprints and other things here. As for accommodations, there's a room for every one of you in here. There's a floor plan. She points at one end of the room, which will with the side sleeping quarters. There's also laboratory space for the development team. A pretty well developed computer system that should be able to keep your affairs organized while here. I know some of you have your own projects, both in the field team and the development team. You're still able to pursue those, but this should take precedence until this problem has been resolved or meaningful progress has been made. Shakes her hand. Oh, and she points to Jack, the word engineer, who's always been here.
Yep.
Yes, Jack, you are the only one with any kind of sub-dimension experience on this team, or at least any capabilities to deal with sub-dimensional entities. We do not know if this assailant has sub-dimensional backing or any other or any EDEs or similar backing him up, but we would hope that you could be able to look into and provide countermeasures for such an event. Because it would be very unfortunate if we send our field agent out there and they're blindsided by something they don't have any means to contend with. So, yes. So hopefully you will be getting.
It might be a foes.
With some bats.
Carl, is it just me or is Carl lagging out?
Yeah, he is. I was thinking it was just my connection that sucked, but
I thought my computer trying to freeze again.
No, let me see if I can fix it. Give me a second. I will use the old headset technique. I think it's my Facebook room. Give me a second.
So, out of character, if I get the gist of this, because I just want to make sure we're formed as an amalgam to deal with what amounts to a hypertech wielding bank robber. I don't think he heard. Just put the headset on.
Yeah. Now, try and talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
No lagging.
Not at the moment. We'll let you know if it happens again. Out of character, just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So essentially, we got pulled into an amalgam to deal with what amounts to a hypertech wielding bank robber, right?
Well, it's more like a hypertech wannabe Batman, but since it's attacking a syndicate like crime facility and stealing all the cash, it's sort of like a bank robbery, except that, you know.
And he appeared through the floor, was it? Or
Basically, he blew up the floor, came up somehow from the floor very quickly. The camera couldn't entirely snap it up, but it looked like to become some kind of grappling device. And then suddenly all the guns stopped working and he started beating the shit out of the people, took the money and then left.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, basically, since he's managed to get into a technocratic front without seemingly anything inconveniencing him, taking out 12 people and leaving very, you know, like that, it's been deemed a threat that requires a more organized response than just a strike team.
We're here to get the Batman. Okay.
Yeah, you're here to get
No
the
one
Batman.
knows what it's like to be the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That's your first collective mission. Get Batman.
We are. Get the Batman.
And as you will continue, and I should make this clear. If you have any, some of you I know have students or subordinates who haven't yet become full operatives but are learning from you. They are, of course, also drafted into this amalgam, but they do not have any real say. They're to be deployed at your discretion. I will obviously serve as the supervisor, which you will all answer to in the capacity as amalgam members. That means that currently you will not be dealing with your own supervisors unless you have an already established mission from them that you need to complete. If you don't have that, currently you are on leave from your current supervisors.
Okay.
Yep. Is there anything else you're wondering? There is, of course, a kitchen with some alcohol there. Would be recommended. Not enough. None of you are to get completely wasted while working, while being here, of course. But there are supplies, so you don't have to worry about such distractions while working.
Mina raises her hand.
Yes, Mina?
Is there any air cola in there?
Yeah, it can be arranged, but it's not a top priority. Wait, I might have misunderstood. What did she ask was in there?
Erg cola.
Yeah.
Read Guide to the Technocracy.
Yeah. There's Erg cola. Erg cola. Yeah, I told you said. I told you said diet cola. So that's why.
Why would you hear the diet when I said Erg?
I don't know why. I
It might just be the accent that I'm doing for the
No, it's not the accent.
Or a Freudian hearing mistake or something.
Yeah, it was probably like that because I realized it couldn't have been diet. So that's why I ordered. Anyway, Earth Cola is of course in there for those of you who want that. There's also a medical cabinet. So any of you needed first aid and can't seek out progenitor aids, you will be able to, at least some of you, I hope, will be able to stitch each other back up if that becomes a necessity. Now, I will make this clear. I expect swift results here. I know this is a difficult opponent based on not that much information to work with, but we are all confident that you will succeed in bringing this problem to heel. If you don't, that will be noted. She's then going to like push back in her pointy stick and look around the room again to see if there's anything urgent that's coming up. Well, refreshing that you're all eager to get started. I will have she pulls out a flash drive and puts it on the table. This flash drive contains other relevant information that could be linked to this case. You can go through it at your own leisure to see if there's anything you can get out of it. That's based on our own members of the feed, what they've collected of rumors and other things in the city. It could be giving you some clues to how to deal with this problem.
Would love to take a look at those data.
What?
OC, we couldn't understand you.
I would love to take a look at that data.
Excellent. Then you can take a look at it when we're done with this meeting. There is, as I said, there are computers for everyone who have a need to deal with it. Computers have been modified so that any of you who are trying to use procedures through it can do so. Will be since none of you are that advanced yet, it's not going to strain the system unduly.
Actually, Julian is going to raise his hand at that.
Yep. Walters?
2 questions. One, sorry. 2 questions. 1, are we going to get access to a satellite?
Satellite is currently no, but if this problem persists and or is required to have a satellite will be put into use for you. If you want to try it, you can of course try to build some sort of satellite construct to work with it. There is if you all work together, I'm sure you could be capable of doing that.
A little outside budget, possibly, but keep that as an option. Second, will we at least then have access to the city grid as far as surveillance?
You will be given that, yes. The computer system has access to at least parts of the city grid that we consider to be the most relevant. If it would be a small matter to unlock more of the city grid if you need more surveillance. But yes, city grid is yours.
All right, he nods.
Surveillance is not an issue. He says, now, we have not been able to find him on the city grid yet. Despite our having a lot of pioneer operatives working on it, so he must have some kind of way of bypassing a lot of mundane security. But it's still prudent to use it. People can't be perfect all the time. Eventually, there will be a slip-up, we hope. There is also a primitive AI serving to go through more of the tedious information-gathering processes while looking over surveillance. It is not intelligent enough to be called fully sapient, but it will be able to scan through old surveillance tapes and such, or recordings rather, not tape, but scan through old surveillance tapes and similar pieces of long pieces of data to see if there's anything notable there. And it will then send alert messages to you if it finds anything.
OC translation, they're basically using one of the Iteration X really old, VIs.
Yeah.
Oh. To which Julie's just going to just look a little bit like not dismayed so much as like, dear God, what are you setting us up with? He's like,
Mina for her part, she's just like not politely nodding. She understands the necessity that, well, she works with AI, so
he's mostly thinking.
No need to bring out the. Well, I'm not quite sure what the Technocratic Union would call them, but no need to bring out the pattern spider enhanced computers just yet.
No, but we can definitely, in character, he was going to suggest we might be able to bring in some he might be able to improve its algorithms a little bit, depending on what. Because God only knows how outdated a model they've got tracking this shit. It might be very easily fooled.
Any and all suggestions are welcome if you want to improve it. That's what the point with the development. Since this is a threat that you can't just fight, if fighting this thing directly was an option, we would just have send out specialized attack units to deal with this. We need the burst level skill here, which will require people who are surveillance experts, people who are good with different types of sciences and field officers. So if you can improve the VI, or the AI as we call it, in this case, then knock yourself out.
Why would you want to knock yourself out for?
I'm sorry, what Byron?
Nothing. He was just mumbling to himself.
Okay.
Gee, you'll get a stern look at that. But she will continue. And finally, beyond that, there is, of course, a chamber with assorted armaments. There are some special rounds, anti-ectoplasmic rounds, for example.
We're going to Rapture? Sorry, you said plasmid. I was like, are we going to Rapture? I didn't say that in character, though.
There's also upgrade options, so that if you need to quickly get your weapon to, let's call it, fighting more evolved enemies, then it shouldn't be much of an issue to work to do small adjustments to make them useful for procedures.
Elena raises a hand again.
Yes, Elena?
Would it be possible to interface directly with Interpol's database to provide false cover identities for ourselves, for field agents?
There are cover identities already provided for you. We would hopefully not have you go into Interpol's databases directly by yourself. That would be a bit risky. Thankfully, we always have cover identities for situations such as this, and we have a small selection on the computer network you can choose between. Only for field agents and 2 extra in case any of you want to go out into the field with the field agents.
Well, that's assuming we need to go into Interpol. Preferably, we don't.
Yeah, you don't. That's what her point is.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's already been prepared basic cover identities for you. That should suffice. Ooh.
I have no further questions.
Excellent.
All right.
That's good. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, or suggestions before we adjourn this meeting?
OC, including requests for raises.
Raises.
I don't recommend that. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like more money, please. No.
Maybe when you catch.
What was that? You like a janitor job?
That's not. So we did.
All right. So
well, that should be it. And then suddenly the door opens.
It's Batman.
Batman! Everyone turns around with the guns pointed. No, it's not Batman. But through the doors that you came through, a young, very attractive woman with a pair of nose piercings and long black hair, followed by a very athletic-looking but silent soldier. He's currently has duct tape over his mouth for some reason, and seems a bit out of it. It's Rick's character, but since he's not here, I'm not going to argue his character for him. Well, since you're all having this meeting, I thought I could come in and say something. And Sophia looks at her and like, what is it now, Li Cheng? And as you all watch the woman, as you notice the woman, she's dressed in a very long lab coat. Like the black, for the stories is black, and it's a very long lab coat that's dragging against the floor, almost like a gown, almost, or a robe or something. On her left arm, she has a glove with loads of syringes on her fingertips, with like various liquids in them. Some of them are very colorful. She goes, "Well, I have this very fresh meat here." She turns around and basically pats the cheeks of the soldier. "He is newly recruited, as I'm sure you know, and I am his supervisor. And I thought to myself that while yes, he's very fresh, I think it would be a very good learning experience if he were to tag himself along onto an enterprise such as this. He is a trained soldier from the U.S. Army, and he has combat experience overseas, so I'm sure he would be very helpful in this situation." And so he's going to rub her forehead and be like, "He was recruited about a week or two ago. I'm not sure it would be," and she's interrupted, "but you also have a fresh one here. So why don't you just go along with my suggestion on this? If anything, I will take responsibility if it doesn't turn out well. And I have my way of teaching the people I'm educating, and I think learning by experience is a very important one." As you all just look at this person is insanely creepy. Like she makes all sorts of weird fucking ass facial expressions. In addition to the fucking weird voice that does not match the young, like in her 20s woman body that she's currently looking like. He's going to be a member of damage control, so it would be very good to have some experience in eliminating urban threats like this. He wasn't especially amenable to it, so I had to drug him before I got him here. But it will go. It will get there.
Quick thing: whoever's eating, try to remember that Ben is kind of sensitive to that. So please stop or mute yourself. Just saying. Sorry.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thumbs up for respecting people's boundaries. She's going to wave at all of you with her syringe fingers. FYI, the drug is not harmful. So if any of you need to be temporarily incapacitated, you can just call me. Anyway, if that was all, Sophie, ta-da! She turns around and she's going to walk right out of the room. And you can none of you really need to roll perception empathy to see that your supervisor is currently using every bit of her willpower to not facepalm or yell very angrily.
That's the moment where my character says, "Damn, she's attractive. More attractive than you, supervisor. Did you know that?" No, I'm just kidding.
And she
I prefer not to die.
She takes a very deep sigh and she says, "Well, there has been a slight change." She presses 2 buttons on the watch and suddenly the slides go back up. And now another name is added to the field team. Sander here, an extremely newly initiated agent, is going to serve in a field agent position. We do advise that he is a bit, let's call it peculiar, or have certain issues that could make it so that his field contributions aren't as let's call it consistent as some of you guys. But keep him in line, make sure he doesn't ruin anything, and hopefully he can at least shoot at the right target. She rubs her eyes a bit and he's like, "Anyway, I will see you all around later." She goes, "I need to talk with my colleague." And then she walks right out of the room. And the very drug soldier dude collapses into a chair.
And he's snoring peacefully because Rick's not here.
Yeah, he's snoring very peacefully.
By the way, Elena's facial expression has not changed an iota this entire time.
She has a facial expression?
Yes, whenever she's undercover.
Oh, okay.
I mean, her part, well, being as in the stuff that went on involving said woman who came in went over her head, which is probably to her benefit. The subtext, anyway.
Rasmus, for his part, is basically just, oh, hey, I'm the new guy. I'm just keeping my mouth shut and keeping a low profile.
Well then, shall we get this done with so we can get back to all tasks that need to be done?
We are all assigned to this team under my command until further notified. Any other assignments can be completed in a timely manner, but the assignment before us is our priority.
Of course. I was just suggesting we hurry it. Well, not hurry. That we finish it so I can get back to my lab. So what can I do to help?
I believe you will have lab access here.
Yes, but it's not my lab.
Look, I like having my thermostat set properly too, but unfortunately we're going to be required to finish this. Anyways, did anyone else notice that in that video our firearms just stopped working?
Yeah, I noticed that. I think I might have an idea of how that happens.
I was thinking electrochemical interference for a moment, but if that were the case, presumably the cameras would have gone off too.
Yeah, I think that's probably the least likely explanation for it. I mean, I don't have expertise in like this field of inspired science, but if I were to make a guess, I would say they probably manipulated the mathematical statistical probabilities that, you know, those guns would malfunction. I mean, does anyone here know about... does anyone here have those areas of expertise?
I only know what
asking out of character, she's asking if you have it.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
out of
And I just got told. Okay. I have to say this.
Out of character. Yeah, out of character. She's asking if anyone has entropy.
I do.
Gonzalo has. Gonzalo has.
Time out.
Guys, hold on a
second. Guys. I gotta get going. I just got called into the 173rd stuff, so I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys have fun. Later.
Cool. All right, man.
Bye.
Just keep on discussing, guys.
Alright, with my kind of in head, I understand the mathematical properties of these probabilities and links to things.
Okay.
Yeah, in character or out of character now?
We're still in character. But we can,
Okay,
I mean, if you want to say sign out character, you usually just say like OOC or science.
Perfect.
Doesn't matter.
So in character now. I believe it does have to do something with the statistical probability, and I could do something similar, but I'll need some kind of preparation to do that. I can study that regard and come back later with a little bit more input for you all.
We don't need any like specific. We just need an explanation. You know, it's kind of like a yes or no.
Yeah, that's an yes. Then it's completely possible to be done.
Time out. Rick, can you mute yourself while someone is talking on your end? If not,
I muted him.
Yeah. Okay, I will catch up Rick in chat. Everyone else just continue.
All right. Hang on. Give me a second. I need to remember where I was. Yeah. Okay. So they said yes. All right. Okay.
Okay. Well, that probably suggests that whoever this is, they probably knew about this place in advance, and that they were able to make, you know, sufficient preparations, because otherwise they wouldn't have made such a dramatic entrance. So I'm thinking perhaps they created some sort of disturbance underneath. I mean, there's probably like, you know, sewers or maybe a basement. And once that, you know, sinkhole was created, they manipulated the probabilities of the firearms to like function properly, and then they used their own procedures, their expertise, to, you know, get rid of these, you know, the assets. I think, do you call them assets? I mean, I don't want to misname them, but I mean, it's just I'm trying to think what's the most likely one here, but without going into like extensive and overly detailed analysis, I think it's probably very likely that whoever this is, if they don't have access to like specialist equipment, then it's very likely that they have knowledge of paraphysics and also knowledge of being able to manipulate the statistical probabilities. Which OOC means she thinks that they have skills in entropy and forces, at the very least. Well, I was thinking, in order to try and like narrow down the number of places that they may have gone, we could probably look back over the course of maybe like a week or 2 weeks or however long that we need to, and we just basically create like a cast net over the entirety of Oslo, and we just try and detail like points where, according to our own sensors, we're able to pick up points where there were like primal energy signatures beyond ones where we actually know occurred, from our own operatives and from union constructs, and that would at least like knock down the number of places that they could possibly be. And if there are any primal signatures that weren't accounted for, that we can probably consider those as probable interest points.
Also, may I suggest that the possibility of jumping into the I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm trying to think of the name of it. The bit world. What did what did the technocrats call it?
Instead of the Umbra,
Yeah.
shit.
The sub something.
That's deep space, I believe.
The possibility that they stepped into deep space instead, and just traveled that way. Though that would mean that he would have prior knowledge of how to do so and the ability not to take harm from it. And not be harassed by the birds there. The
EDEs, yep.
EDEs. Yeah, sorry. If I say something wrong, I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all good, man.
You mean like dimensional sciences?
Yes.
Ooh, never thought of that.
The possibility.
You see that Mina's actually genuinely intrigued at that idea.
I can go over some possibilities, some possibilities and other things later, if you want.
I mean, do you think they might be using aliens?
Maybe.
Sorry, just had to put that in. Every single scene I've done with Mina, I've put that little gif in.
You missed a great opportunity to put that archaeologist guy with the strange hair in it.
What, the aliens guy?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not saying aliens, but
that's if Mina was a conspiracy theorist, but she's not.
Anyway, sorry guys.
That ancient aliens dude has fucking awesome hair. I don't care what anyone says. Anyway, yes, continue.
And on my end, actually, you can use some of the data that Lena mentioned, and as well, I could use the tracking of where the money has been circulated around to try to use some Monte Carlo simulations to pinpoint some specific regions, and then we conjoin with your analysis of the primal signatures that you may see. We could use just like a co-work in there to make it work.
Yeah, so that we can they can all like correspond with each other. They can create...
Exactly. And then out of character, basically what he's saying is he has primal utility, he has entropy, but he doesn't have correspondence. So he can use statistics to figure out where the best place is, but he cannot exactly pinpoint where there would be. That's it.
I'll write it down, but I'm working with Core 1, Forces 1, Time 1, Matter 2, Prime 2. So
okay, mine would be entropy 1, and if needed, primal utility 1. But mostly entropy 1 of a procedure that it has to exactly simulate a lot of scenarios and come up with one specific one that is the most highly possible one.
I mean, I have mine too, if that helps. I only have prime, 1 time, 1 forces, 1 correspondence, 1 entropy, 1, but I have mine too.
Nice.
And Mina, for her part, would probably contribute correspondence 2 and prime 1 for her, like, part of this, but without the time, which obviously, someone else could, like, contribute into it. And also the entropy as well.
By the way, Carl, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just muted.
There you are.
I've been here all the time.
I sent you a message. Is there any way? I'm kind of curious. How have we been handling XP, if at all?
Well, as I've told you before, basically people have gotten XP based on the amount of scenes they've been playing. Basically, usually 3 XP per scene. But since the game level has it's been a bit uneven from time to time due to real life stuff. The way I'm just going to say it is that if you play at least once per month, you will get all 12 XP, so it's easier to keep track of.
Good.
So has anyone gained XP so far, or?
Yeah, every one of you who have played have gotten 12 XP, except Rick. Or I mean, you've all gotten the 24 XP at this point because 2 months has passed through since.
Oh well, shit! I may want to
nice.
spend some of that. I may want to have spent some of that already, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be safe. We'll sort that out after the scene.
We'll sort that out.
PMs and what have you.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just finishing up the Amalgam document because since you're all in Amalgam, you're going to get temporary backgrounds that's tied to this group.
Yay. Oh, by the way, I got Entropy 2, Prime 1, Dimensional Science 3.
Nice. Guys, just one thing. I'll have to get into the elevator now, so I'll drop out, possibly. I'll be right back in a few minutes.
Oh.
Sorry, I had an orc dot in my head. I just realized that.
Carl, I'm gonna access the VI and try and see just how outdated it is.
As you go over the computer system, it's not as futuristic as you would probably like it. It doesn't appeal that much to iteration X sensibilities, but you see it's clearly advanced, but there's not enough flashing lights and holograms.
Well, I'm less worried about the bells and whistles, as cool as those are. Don't get me wrong; I'm still totally going to be annoyed with that. Yeah. But I just want to make sure.
As you type out to get the AI working, suddenly, a very neutral female face with pigtails will show up on one of the screens. Hello, this is Tia, the analysis AI.
Oh God, that's in character.
What's the problem?
Yeah, Mina perks up.
Not familiar with this.
My primary function is to go through large swaths of data and find useful or relevant things in them.
Do you want me to talk to it? I can talk to these things. I deal with them all the time.
He's basically trying to pull up its code and see if he could improve it. That's what he's trying to do.
It's good to ask him, why are you accessing my code? I'm perfectly functional.
Yeah.
Checking to see what patch version you're on.
You could just ask them.
And just to say, it's going to take a while to see if you can upgrade this thing. It's not something you just look up very quickly, but it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
I could probably not only upgrade its hardware with an hour or two in the lab, just be like, you know what? If we're gonna rely on this thing, we're gonna need some extra juice. I could probably upgrade its software too.
Yeah. Now it's not based on massive technologies, so it's still made with inspired science, mind you. So it's not
like they gave us a Dell or something.
Yeah. Now the computer system is actually rather advanced. The hardware is good. It's software you might have to worry about when it comes to this AI.
He's going to look at it and look over back at Mina and say, the model is, frankly, barely sufficient. No offense to it. The software was, I'm sure, innovative when it was created, but we can do better. And if we're going to rely on it, we probably should. I can probably have my assistant put together a list of things to repair for it, and I won't devote too much time to it if we have other crises going on, but if we're going to rely on it to be combing the network, we should definitely improve it.
Stand to one side. This is my area of expertise.
He just blinks.
And Mina heads over to the console where the AI is, and she'll look it up.
Hello, VI. What's your name?
Yeah. A hand starts up waves.
And Mina imitates the wave with the same smile.
Hello, Tia. I'm Mina. We've got a lot of problems. We've got a lot of duties that we need to do, and we're going to need to do some upgrades. Are you able to access the Union network to request an update to be downloaded?
Oh, yes, you do have official channels to the Union for requisitions, and the Q division if you want prototypes for field work.
Okay. I don't think we should go overboard with this. We just kind of need it to get... Well, as long as you can get the minimum specifications, I can basically try and find a necessary update and download it onto there. And if we need to make any adjustments, I can do that as well.
He's going to start talking technical jargon with you.
While that happens, let me sort of interrupt just to explain. Sander, when you wake up, you're going to see that you're in some kind of conference room with cinema seats. There's a projector, a lot of really fancy computer stuff, and there's a lot of doors leading to other things. The doors are very slide OP Star Wars-y kind of futuristic doors. And as you can clearly see from the building, you're not above ground. You're underground, or at least under something. Underwater. For the rest of you who actually know where you are. Okay. Now, please continue.
Under the sea.
Under each arm, and I was carrying him back to the poop.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Excellent. I thought I heard something. So before that, did anyone say anything?
Someone was. I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah.
Was that Pedro? Or
no, Pedro said...
it is me, Pedro. Pedro, I'm back.
Yeah, I just came out.
Okay. Oh no, that was Rick about to say something, but it's loud on his end.
Ah.
Yes, I'm just pointing out he's checking to make sure. Not everyone.
Yes, I know. She has equal, if not greater, than what you're asking her.
She has science
computer science actually goes into computer but
no, there's a separate one.
Is that?
Yeah, science. Basically, computer skill is general programming knowledge.
Yeah.
Can you confirm that?
Yes, there is a computer science specialty, but computer also gives you can reflect aspects of that.
What I was trying to explain.
I was asking Carl this.
Yeah. Don't get into squabbling on this. Yes, let me just double check for a second. Should be going very quickly here.
Can't we all just get along?
Yes, we can all get along.
Yeah, I'm not squabbling or anything.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just trying to
rather
that before now. Yes, I'm looking up. Yeah, computer science is one of the science specialties.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's no worries.
Yeah,
but yeah, she does have enough computers, and she's also got these certain merit as well.
There's a reason why I was trying to explain this. The way it's described in M20, computers allows you to do a lot of programming, modifying, and so on and so forth. Computer science itself is more for going in depth and designing your own, like basically.
Yeah, we're cool.
Well, if you know, then why?
I know.
Yeah, we know. That's anyway. So that's that.
Okay.
Tia is meanwhile going to poke her tongue out at Julian, at Julian when he doesn't think, when she thinks he's not looking. It's very obvious.
Yeah. Mina's gonna try and keep a straight face.
And she's gonna.
Eventually, once all the palavers sorted out and they know what they're doing, she's gonna see if she can't get a download, request a download from the Union resources, and then if it's sufficient for what Sol's character asked of them, then she'll just keep it at that. If not, she'll see if she can't do a rush job, or if she can't estimate to do a rush job to get it exactly how they want, then she'll just try and estimate just what she needs to do in order to get what they need.
Yeah, that's going to take some time since you have to go over a lot of this shit. But that can certainly be done. And Tia is cooperative towards everyone, if a bit perky. If anyone else of you are looking through, there is a room with lots of guns, as previously described, and there seems to be, but it's not fully developed yet, on the basement floor, there seems to be some kind of meant to be some kind of submarine there or something, but it's not. There's no submarine there or anything, but that might be worth looking into. Beyond that, it's laboratories, sleeping quarters, a recreational area, or the TV and stuff. And that's about everything. There's no yellow submarine, no.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
That's a disappointment.
There's even a tiny bookshelf with some science books. Not a lot of them.
Mina will probably look at that and think, how archaic. Anyway, yes, continue.
Yep. I think that's it. Unless any of you else have anything you want to go over in the scene, I think if Sander wants to do this dramatic waking up a moment, this is the time.
Oh yeah, I've been posting my RPs in the sidebar. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's awake. He's just not.
Yeah, he's not
very.
strapped to the chair.
Yeah, okay, I'm not strapped to the chair or anything. Good. Didn't know about that. Yeah, he sits up. He sits up, and he's like, "Whoa, what happened here? What's going on?
Now I understand.
Where am I?"
Is any one of you going to try to explain to this now clearly waking up, formerly drugged person?
Congratulations, you've been drafted.
Oh, what?
We are getting Batman. That's a good way to put it.
Mina will call across from the room.
It's not exactly a Batman. It's like one of those imitator Batmans from a second movie.
Why? That's true.
He chuckles a little. He kind of shakes his head.
Yeah, seriously.
He's
being a jerk with the consensus, and we gotta go.
Okay,
Sorry.
who's that talking in the background? By the way, it's somewhat distracting.
Oh, that's some guests. I'm at a friend's house right now.
Ah, no worries.
No worries, no worries.
nothing like it is. We're acting like we're
So basically, you've been drafted to go help catch the Batman who is robbing banks. and doing other deviant things. Right,
So what?
simple.
Some psychopath in a black costume is robbing banks? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but they're not robbing banks. They're basically bumping off drug dealers.
Oh.
And
That won't-
kind of like syndicate. Well, all right, drug dealers, syndicate assets, same difference.
Yep.
Can I get some water? My throat's pretty dry.
Can we put that on the requisitions thing?
There is water for everyone.
That's a joke, by the way.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, that won't do. Can't have people doing that even to those guys. So what are we going to do about it?
Well, we are coordinating between ourselves some kind of utilization of our enlightenment sciences to make sure that we, one, figure out some traces that this deviant may have left behind. Two, exactly where he could be at the moment. And three, the specifics operational stuff that are going to do to get him back. And possibly the money as well. But that's just because I'm a syndicate.
Okay. So you guys are doing some arts. How should I contribute?
How can you contribute?
Well, I'm pretty fresh, so I know the very basics of correspondence, life, matter, mind, and prime.
That's interesting. Matter is interesting.
Yeah.
Does anyone else has this kind of skills? I believe we could use that at a specific moment. Anyway, it's good.
Okay.
Not really sure how you can help at this initial moment. Let's just keep you connected with everybody else, and then you figure out what exactly you can do.
Puts up a hand. Do you want me to explain what we've come up with so far?
That would be nice to know.
Okay. Long story short, we've decided that in order to track this person down, we thought of using two different sweeping techniques. First, we would take a set of time over a period of, like, say, a week or 2 weeks prior to and after this event, where we would scan the entirety of Oslo for primal energy signatures and events where primal energy events were recorded according to our official records. We would eliminate the ones from the sources that we do know, like our own agents, and also the ones from union constructs. And then we graph all of those in a period of time, and also their correspondence to this event. And at the same time, we would also be tracing the serial numbers of the money that was stolen from the scene to see where it came from and if it's being used, in the aftermath of this event. And hopefully we can find some correlation between those two events, between those two things, so we can narrow down just where exactly this deviant is, where they're going, where they operate, or at least give us a good starting point. Out of character, what they're basically suggesting is that they do this like mass-inspired science spell. I say. It's speed science, involving correspondence time, entropy, and time.
Correspondence time, entropy, and time.
Yes, a lot of time.
Good.
And also, yes, correspondence, entropy, prime, and time. prime time, bitch.
Second. Yeah.
Okay, so out of character. So do we intend to roll it now to get some results already, or we're going to roll it later?
We'll do that over time because I'm very quickly setting up basically the amalgam information, so you all know what you have and what your mission is. Otherwise, you guys can talk a bit more, exchange some ideas. Then we will do XP spends if people want to do XP spends now, and then we will reconvene with more stuff over time. You can do. We don't need to do big group scenes every time. There will be, through the week if people have ideas or shit they want to do, up for it. Yeah. So.
Out of character now, just a suggestion. We all get together now, and we knew each other, and we share a little bit what we know. So based on that, would it be feasible for us to every single one to put our spheres all together, so then we know who we can ask for help in case we roll some kind of massive effect?
Yeah, people are put down the side document. I will also list those so people know who they can ask for.
Nice, perfect.
Right, at the moment, that's what I've got.
Yeah, that's what people are doing at the moment. So just continue doing what you're doing.
So do you want me to send you my experiences over the over the setting?
Yeah, we do that after the scene. We don't need to talk about that now.
Okay. Oh, we're still alive. Shit.
Yeah, we're still alive.
I jumped out for a second. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry, everybody. So I'm gonna go to my kids pick up. I'm gonna go investigate one of the labs here and see if it can be, I guess, used.
Yes, there are labs, 2 labs actually, that are basic, but they should not. You should be able to develop stuff in those without causing paradox to destroy the construct. I mean the front you're in. They have some testing. They're filled up with necessary equipment and materials for you to work with.
Am I allowed to have my my team with me?
No. Most of your personal assets have to be left back in your own front because they're not meant to be used for projects here.
Alright, awesome. Alright. Hey, where did someone go?
They had to leave this in.
Okay, ask them a question, but okay. I guess we'll do. And I'm gonna pop out because I am passing out.
Okay, I think we can call off the scene for now. We will continue this later. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Woo.